Alan Wake, the ride contest submission sent in by one of our Discord builders. It's Fantastic One, and they say, this is my first park creation and Channel 5 Gaming contest. I learned a lot through the process of creating Alan Wake, the ride, and enjoyed assembling all the narrative pieces into one stunning ride. I picked the video game Alan Wake because of the potential uniqueness amongst other submissions, as well as the challenges that come with trying to create a coaster based off that game. Alan Wake is a psychological thriller action game that always kept you on your toes while playing and consists of detailed spiraling plot revolving around the ominous dark present that encompasses the town of Bright Falls. At each location you learn something new about Bright Falls, its citizens, the mysterious Cauldron Lake, and the dark presence. I hope I've done a worthy job of creating such a wonderful game. Perfect. Alright, here we are at the boarding station, everyone. Whoa, look at that track length. That looks quite crazy. I kind of expected it to be more of a dark ride, but looking at that track, it looks like more of a corkscrew. Alright, we have a single rail basilisk, a very hard coaster to get smooth. Let's hope he's done a good job here. Look at all the stats. We've got 5.35 excitement, 3.82 fear, and a 1.63 nausea. There's the rest of the results. I will cut to it as soon as the coaster arrives.
Stephen King once wrote that nightmares exist outside of logic, and there's little fun to be had in explanations. They're antithetical to the poetry of fear. In a horror story, the victim keeps asking why, but there can be no explanation, and there shouldn't be one. My name is Alan Wake. I'm a writer.
Hello there. You picked a good time to visit our town. Deerfest is just 2 weeks away.
Deerfest, huh? Did you hear that, huh?
We need to stop at the local diner to get the cabin key from the landlord, a Mr. Carl Stuckey. He's waiting for us.
I'd forgotten there were still places like this. Towns where everybody knew everybody.
Mr. Stuckey?
Carl couldn't make it. Unfortunately, he was taken ill. But I have the key for you and instructions on how to get to the lake. I'll come by later to check how you've settled in. Cauldron Lake is a special place. Very inspiring.
Hey, wait! Your keys!
Tell me one more lie and I'll shoot you in the face.
Ah, well, it's worth a shot.
We're going to the Anderson farm. We need to find Cynthia Weaver. We'll stay here for the night and head back to town as soon as it gets light. They never had Alice. She's trapped in the darkness at the bottom of the lake, but she's not dead. I can bring her back. I can find her. There's something special
we awake? Alan, wake up! Alan! 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 Steve! Steve! All right. Lots to talk about here. I guess one of the instructions you should have given me, or something that you should have known, is that you had the audio file playing throughout the entire coaster. Having said that, one of the requirements, or something that you should have noticed while doing this, is the coaster would be ridden better if the sound effects were turned off. So we don't hear the guests screaming, we don't hear the tracks, and we soak up the audio files only. However, would that make the experience better? Because the problem that I'm having with this creation is it a coaster, or is it a dark ride, or is it something in between? I feel like a dark ride or a track ride. Oh, the game crashed. Alrighty, I am back. Let me regain my thoughts. Where was I? I was saying that this should have been... I felt like it would have been better as a ride spotlight, using some sort of a track ride, because, as I was mentioning, muting all the sounds or turning the sounds off, I could have redone the coaster without the sounds to improve the experience. However, it's a coaster experience after all. It's majority coaster, even though you have audio playing throughout the whole thing. Look at how long this coaster is. So, and look how many inversions it's doing, and corkscrews and all sorts of things. So we kind of want to hear the guests, the coaster itself, because that is primarily the experience. The audio is supposed to be sort of a tertiary add-on to the experience. So even though we couldn't hear it at times, we did hear it at most important key moments. And like when we were going through the farm, they're talking about we have to go to the farm, blah, blah, blah. And then we have something special about the lake and the town, and we go to these different locations. However, all that stuff I feel would have been done better through a track ride. Going through this town at kind of maybe a remotion track ride or something, and seeing everything from this level makes us feel more like we're Alan Wake going through an experience. We're kind of just above all that, and you know, it kind of detracts from all the work that you put into it. I really loved when we got down to the farm, saw the fireworks, and heard a little bits of the story there, and went into the barn. I think there's a lot of good aspects of it. Now, we are covering a lot of distance, so I could see why you used it. So maybe, on the other hand, having the coaster instructions to turn the music or the sound effects off using a torque launched coaster, but not using it in the sense that it's a corkscrew coaster, but rather using it to boost you in between scenes. So maybe we're going through a city tunnel, and we're going through and we're hearing some of that story, seeing some of that lights, and then we pop out at the farm or wherever you want to pop us out at, and you're using the torque just to kind of accelerate us from place to place. And then you can use that and sink it into the ground and take us through the city as we're talking about the story, and then boost us up again, and really make it so the experience is more or less a fast ride rather than an actual coaster itself. Because I don't think the coaster really did serve a lot of purpose here based off of what you're trying to do. Alan Wake is a very story-based experience, whereas if we look at something from this contest such as like Just Cause, having that as a loud coaster with screaming guests and rockets going off and blowing up, it's Just Cause the coaster. It makes a lot of sense to just leave it the way it is and have it also be a fun coaster. So it's just like we're trying to create a video game coaster or ride. And I think this game fits better in the setting of a ride. But I could be wrong. Let me know if you guys enjoyed the actual coaster itself. Because for me, I felt like the coaster needed a little bit more smoothing. And we're doing these inversions, and it felt to me like there was no purpose behind it, because these fast, extreme inversions and rolls and twists and all that stuff doesn't really go with the story or the vibrance or the environment that's happening around us. So for me, it just felt like two clashing elements. However, I think that you captured the essence of Alan Wake. You captured the eerie lake, the spooky towns. Everything is well done. I love the atmosphere of it all. I think your terraforming's great. I mean, everything here is a great Alan Wake creation. So I have mixed feelings on it. That's where I'm at on this creation. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Am I being too harsh? Do you feel the same way? Do you think it should have been a ride instead of a coaster? Or what would you have changed to the coaster to make it more fitting to Alan Wake? All those things I'd love to hear down in the comments below, and I'm sure it's fantastic one would as well. And also be sure to keep an eye on the community tab as you guys get to decide the first, second, and third winner of every bracket for the video game contest. Boom, and that's going to do it for this episode of Coaster Spotlight, everyone. If you enjoyed, please be sure to smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe for more daily Planet Coaster videos. And thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye now.